Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Stuff. I'm not playing this morning, but I was going to answer a question on my last video. Somebody said they'd got Country Boxing and they had a question about TKOs. They don't know anything about boxing. So this is the original paperback from Lulu, and this became also an ebook on Lulu. So this boxing game could be had for $5 in ebook. Paperback's $9, $10. All right, this was based. For those who don't know, this was based on an old black and white movie, 1948-49 movie called The Setup. I so loved the movie and was so inspired by the movie, and I love boxing, and it was just this amazing kind of look at a world of boxing that I was not real familiar with. Kind of like small town boxing circuit fight nights, and so I set out to create a boxing game that would resemble this kind of fictional world of rule or circuit boxing, in which you're the local guys are already in town, and a busload of boxers comes in, and they set up a fight card for the night. And some of these guys are, they're never going to make it. They get paid their $25 for the night or whatever, their $100 for the night. If they win, they win. They lose. But some of them don't have managers. Some do. Long story short, they roll, and guys will pile off that bus, or they'll come into town if they're contenders. They may have an entourage. Whatever. The long story of it is, it just captured my imagination of a bygone era that we just will never see again, right? But it's cinema, it's Hollywood, so it's also not real, right? So the cities they refer to are fictional. A couple of cities they refer to, the main city in the film is fictional, and they allude to it being probably Atlantic City. I would assume Atlantic City or Vegas or something, but Vegas would not have been in 1948 a very hot spot at the time, so it's probably Atlantic City or something. Anyway, it doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. The gist of it is this: so inspired by the concepts of the film, and it's cinema, it's Hollywood. It's telling a story about a kind of a unfortunately kind of a washed up boxer who has more heart than he has talent, right? Anyway, long story short is I wanted to make a boxing game that was a kind of cinematic, fictional, thing that would allow you to play in this kind of fictional world, and you could modify the boxers in your world, or you could at least build your own stable of boxers, or your own boxer, or be your own boxer and do that. So that's the premise of boxing, Big Country Boxing. And so it's not meant to be remotely real. It's meant to be cinematic, right? Raging Bull or Rocky or The Setup or any of these Hollywood boxing movies, right? It's never real. No matter, even if it's telling us the story of a real fight, you only see the action in the ring from one-dimensionally, right? Either Rocky's getting pummeled and you're witnessing this intimate pummeling, or Rocky's rising up and fighting back, and we get these intimate scenes, but we don't really get a whole lot of details, and we certainly aren't watching a legitimate boxing fight, right? Anybody who's watched boxing films should understand cinema versus real life, right? Okay, so that means I wanted to come up with a quick play chart, and I mean literally quick play. You roll one time per round to find out who wins the round. Your boxer is always on the left, and your rating is measured against your opponent, and you're either going to be in the minuses or you're going to be in the positives. So when you are the better fighter, you should be in the green, and you want green. So even when you're in the red, you want green. So that's how you're going to win rounds. That's how you're going to fight. So to answer this question, gentleman asked, what is a TKO, and how do I win by TKO? Lose? Okay, so it's very simple. If I roll the dice, let's say my boxer is 305 points better than my opponent, and I roll on the round one, ding, 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 and I roll an 85. I win by TKO, fight's over. I won. I won it by a technical knockout. That's it. That fight's over. I win, and we go on to the next fight, right? And I make the adjustments to my fighter, the career adjustments to my fighter, the record adjustments. I can mask their record if I want to. I can make adjustments to the opponent's box, to the chart boxers if I want to. So it's that simple. So a TKO is a technical knockout, which means the doctor or the referee or your corner man, somebody stops the fight outside of the boxer's purview. Usually it's the referee or the doctor. They step in and say, that's it, you've had enough, and they end the fight out of safety reasons or because you can't fight back. So either you are so out of it that you can't protect yourself, or you are so badly beaten that they stop the fight to protect you. Or it could be something else. It could be something like you broke your hand, or it could be, and you got to stop the fight. It's a technical knockout because I can't fight anymore, right? You don't get to just say, hey, guys, can we stop, come back and do this in 6 months? So there's any number of reasons you can kind of win via technical knockout. But generally it's because you can't defend yourself or you've been knocked down the maximum amount of time. So in one round now, if I get knocked down once and get up, get knocked down a second time, there's a good chance the referee is going to check me and stop the fight if I look wobbly. But there used to be a 3 knockdown rule. If you're knocked down 3 times in one round, fight was automatically a TKO. It was over. So this may not say you were knocked down 3 times, but again, we're playing kind of Hollywood boxing. You can imagine your boxer just got his butt thumped and went down maybe 3 or 4 times, and the ref finally said that's enough. Or your actual manager, corner man, can throw in the towel. So you have to imagine abstractly, narratively, what your TKO might be. And same thing on this side. If you're at the plus 300, but I roll a 4, I'm going to lose that fight immediately by TKO. So there's knockouts and there's technical knockouts. And then the rest are scoring, right? All you're doing is going to be amassing points and then go to round 1, so round 2. So I roll, let's say I roll right in the middle and we both score 10 points. And then round 2, I lose it 9-10. And round 3, I have a 4-round fight. I lose it 10-8. And then in round 4, I win it 10-7. You're going to tally those round numbers, and the boxer that wins, has the most points, will win the round. And I will win the fight of a 4-round bout, right? And we still will adjust our boxer based on how they win or lose, right? And there we go, we move on. So it's that simple. So this is why I've had other boxing fans note there's no such thing as kind of a 10-7. It's either super rare or they never do it. But again, this was meant to be fictional Hollywood kind of cinematic boxing. So I want 10-7s because this allows me to visualize that my fighter is just brutalizing his opponent, which means he might have knocked him down twice. He might be badly cut and swollen up, and the ref just won't stop the fight. And remember, you had to damn near quit or be just totally mauled before referees. It was rare that doctors or referees would stop. Legitimate referees would stop fights, etc. So there were, they didn't like to mess around and interrupt because there's a lot of gambling that goes on in these fights. So doctors and referees did not want to make those decisions. But you still had those results. So 10-7 is here again for drama. The reality is, wow, I had a round where I just beat the hell out of this guy. It's Clubber Lang beating the hell out of Rocky. Well, guess what? The next round, somehow Rocky takes it to Clubber Lang, right? And whoops, so you got to imagine that's kind of how it feels, right? So, if you want a more realistic, then you would play my boxing time, right? But it's not even about realism, it's about what it means. So TKO is a technical knockout. If you WTKO, you win the fight's over. You win by knockout, but it's a technical knockout. In other words, you didn't knock somebody unconscious. You technically beat them bad enough that it's called a knockout and fight's over, right? And you can win immediately by that too. So these fights can be fast. In one roll of the dice, it can be over. Fight can be over, right? But it only takes one roll, period, for every round. So a 15-round bout should only be 15 rolls maximum. So you're getting in and out of these fights pretty remarkable. And this is designed that there can be a lot of flash knockouts. It's obviously when you're getting here, for them, a flash knockout against you when you're really highly rated, it's not going to be easy. A flash knockout for you is not going to be easy if they're greatly rated over you. But you can see when you are a dominant over your opponent, you're going to KO them 40% or up, right? And over here, it's same thing. So it's 60% chance that he's going to drop you. So there's a slight, and these numbers are not completely uniform. There's sometimes the red boxer has a slight advantage mathematically, even when you're higher on this tier, right? Or here, it might be a slight advantage in different ways, even for the bad boxer over one here. So this is not uniform. It's weighted again to create dynamism and to create this fictional world of big country boxing. So I hope this helps. That's what a TKO is. And in something like Boxing Time, so that's big country. In Boxing Time, let me get out of here and get to my time games. Let's go to the comic book, Boxing Time comic. This is my favorite. This has become, this and Football Time, I love footballs, and I can't get enough. But this and Football Time literally are my favorite games. They're just dominating my playtime. I would argue this is my favorite of my games. Again, it still has the big country, small town setup, right? Because all of my games are couched in this fictional universe. Not all, but most of the games, most of the sports games that come in these books have some kind of fictional league set up so people can see how that works and they can play immediately or they can make their own. But I provide what this little fictional world is for those who care. If those who don't care, skip past this, make your own teams, and get on playing. So Boxing Time, TKOs work differently. You have a TKO rating, so when you make your fighter and he's finished. So here's the example boxer. As I roll him up, I end up with a boxer with 9 TKO rating. So as he fights in rounds, points against him, cuts against him, or knockdown chances against him all count as a TKO point. And so yes, you could have a cut in a round, you could have a knockdown in a round, and that would be 2 TKO points against your boxer in one round. If I gave up 7 punch points and was knocked down in the round, that would be 2 TKO points. And those accrue through the whole fight. So the lowest possible rating a boxer can have, based on what's called the base limits. Where the hell is it? Here it is, base. If you don't roll a better number when you're creating your boxer, you have to take 3, the base. So you can literally be TKO'd in 2 rounds. I mean, a 3 is miserable. Your fighter's probably going to lose a lot of fights by TKO unless they have a brilliant defense. If you have an A-rated defense, you can survive. You can have a long career with a TKO 3. But against another boxer who's really good, that TKO 3 is still going to be a problem, right? So a guy with a TKO 3 could conceivably be TKO'd in a fight in 1 round, mathematically. It's not necessarily. It depends, though, on your defense. If you have a great defense, then they won't score as many points, but they could score a cut, a knockdown. That would be 2. In the first round, you could have a knockdown chance and a cut, and that's 2 TKO points against you immediately. You got only 1 to give for the rest of the fight, right? And the minute you roll a TKO, no matter what, fight stopped, right? So in this version, we don't check the doctor between rounds. If you get to your total, that's it. The fight is immediately stopped. And again, the details of that is narratively, however you're viewing what these TKOs look like. If you're amassing TKO points, you probably have swollen eyes. You may have a cut. You may have a bloody nose. You may also have moments where you're not defending yourself as you get stunned and you're on the ropes and they're pounding away and you're not defending yourself. Any way you can imagine why these TKO points. So if it's a point TKO, meaning they've scored 6 or more points in a round, you can imagine that you're just getting absolutely. You're not doing a good job fighting back, right? You're stunned. Etc. If it's a KD chance, well, that's obvious. You were hammered with a blow, in which your boxer may have stumbles and is having trouble defending himself, and obviously a cut. If you roll a cut, that's now considered a TKO point in the grand scale of the fight. If you roll cuts later, there's still TKO points against you, but it could be the same cut that just won't stop bleeding. It could be other cuts. It doesn't have to be that you're chopped to ribbons like it's a razor blade fight, but You get my point. So in this, this is a simulator. This is, again, I've said it already. This football time and this are my favorite games, period, bar none. And this again is more of a real boxing simulator. It's just fast. It's abstract and it's fast. So there you have it. That's boxing time. So it sounds like you have purchased Big Country Boxing. If it says win TKO, you've won it immediately. Fight's over. You won it by TKO. If it says LTKO, you've lost the fight by TKO. And all the TKO is the fight is ended for some reason on your behalf or against your boxer because of something out of, like being knocked down 3 times, like being a bloody mess, or not defending yourself, or something as simple as a broken hand. You can't. You have to stop. You go over and you break your jaw and you go to the ref and say, I've had enough. Or you tell your corner man. Your corner man says, that's it, man. We got to pull him out. He's blind in his right eye. And so you stop the fight, right? And so that goes down as a knockout, but it's called a technical knockout. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.